Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for October 2023. So on October 8th, we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, not only clearing her post-retrograde shadow period that she's been in for quite some time, but she's also moving into Virgo energy. So we have a lot to unpack. Let's review. Venus moved into the heart and soul of the zodiac in this Leo energy back in June. This was definitely illuminating for us where it is that we had to kind of crack the hard shell around our heart space, realizing that the walls in which we've built were essentially built in order to protect us from emotional damage, from pain, from trauma from the outside world. And now we're realizing that they're actually kind of creating more of a prison vibe, blocking us from making the kind of connections that we want to make, really blocking us from the creative energy, the flow of passion, of desire, really being able to be realized within us. And so as Venus kind of went through that Leo energy, again, she made it to the 28th degree before she decided to go retrograde. That's when we started to unpack. That's when we started to break down. That's where we started to get real and raw and vulnerable with ourselves and really take a good look at the realm, the reality in which we've created. And we started sorting out who and what needs to stay and needs to go. Of course, Venus, she got resurrected, she got renewed, she had a rebirth on August 13th when Venus and the sun came together, and of course that kicked off a brand new cycle. She was still retrograde at the time, so of course we had to fulfill that retrograde breakdown, that review, that reevaluation, and when she went direct, of course, we've been sitting in this Leo energy in the post-retrograde shadow period, which brought a lot of confusion onto our heart space. Suddenly, we were debating the pros and cons, whether we still felt passionate enough to make the big changes, the big transformations that we were contemplating and making while she was retrograde. This particular energy has been a build-up, emotionally speaking, to be bold and brave and courageous enough to do what it is that we have to do by listening to our heart space, really aligning with the higher self, doing what it is that we need to do to stand in our truth, to truly express ourselves, and of course, do what we got to do in our physical realms to create more safety, security, stability, happiness, joy, and pleasure. So now that she's cleared the post-retrograde shadow fog, we're definitely having a lot of clarity in our heart space. Our thoughts, our feelings are becoming more aligned. Mercury, again, ruler of the mental plane, just cleared his post-retrograde shadow period. And now our heart and our head going to be balancing the scales in this Libra season in order to find a new common ground. Now with Venus moving into Virgo energy and Earth energy ruled over by Mercury, again, huge emphasis on getting our heart and head in alignment. In an Earth energy, we are down to earth. We are logical, we're practical with our emotions. So much so that we may even kind of be removing emotion out of the equation altogether. We're more factual, more in your face, more kind of to the point with what it is that we are kind of holding in our heart space. There isn't a whole lot of realm for, I'm going to say, crying and complaining. We are down to the nitty gritty of what needs to happen. We have taken the time to realize what our heart is asking us to pursue. And in Libra season, a time of high potency indecision, we're not kind of acting or making any kind of moves or arriving at anything new, as much as we are reminding ourselves what it is that we arrived at back when she was retrograde, all of the heart activations that we've had, all of the changes in our heart space, in our head space, in our physical realm since June. Now we're arriving at the smaller details that we actually have control of. Where in our physical realm can we make these little adjustments to start building a stronger foundation that is going to lead us to the safety, security, stability that we've been lacking. In this Virgo energy, everything is a lot more logical and practical, which means that when it comes to kind of showing our love and affection to those that we deem to be worthy of it, this is like acts of service. We're running errands, we're doing small little gestures, we're helping people out by doing some things off of their to-do list, and in the same kind of token, that type of act of service is being played out by those that are trying to show their love and affection to us. But this isn't just about, relationships. It's not just about lovers. It's about trying to make sense of our emotions. It's trying to compartmentalize them, give them structure, give them meaning, give them purpose. Again, the Virgo energy is trying to heal the mental plane. And with Virgo energy, we are really doing a deep dive by recognizing what it is that we're focused on is actually what it is that we're bringing to life. So having Venus be a little bit more grounded in our heart space and constantly trying to make the efforts to make sense of some of the things that she's feeling, this is definitely a time where we're doing a deep dive in our heart space and in our mental plane. Having Venus in an earth sign always kind of means that we are a little bit more, I'm going to say, sensual. We really do want to connect to the physical body, but we want to help and heal it first. And so again, tapping into the logical, practical mind state that we need to be in to examine where it is that we're not feeling safe and secure and stable, where there's not happiness, joy, and pleasure, we're really going to focus our attention on trying to remedy these particular situations first and foremost. This is a time when we are definitely going to get down to the nitty gritty on how we've made some changes in our inner realm that we now need to kind of take control of in our physical realm to start mirroring back to us some of the things that we've already decided upon, that we've already kind of agreed upon within us. And of course, you know, the Virgo energy does have the shadow side of being a little bit too nitpicky, a little bit too judgmental and critical, not only of ourselves first and foremost, but of our partners, of our outside world, of the way that we're engaging with the people in our worlds. And so, of course, does bring a little bit of nervousness into the realm of our heart space because we are coming out of that Leo energy where we had to crack those walls down and be real and raw and vulnerable. And now we're trying to build something safe and secure out of that vulnerability. So, of course, there is going to be lots of opportunities as Venus kind of moves her way through this Virgo energy for us to take a good look at our heart space in relation to our environment and really kind of see where it is that we have to make some changes. Again, because this Virgo energy is on the healing axis, this would be a great time to do what we can do to kind of release some of the emotional pain and trauma that we've been carrying on our heart space. Massage therapy, body work, energy work, EFT, all of these are super helpful modalities that are going to kind of release the stress, the pressure, the pain, the trauma that have been stored in our bodies. This is a time where we really have to focus on the health and wellness of not only our physical bodies, but of our heart space, of our emotions. And so, you know, there's going to be just as many highs as there is lows while we're still in Libra season in order to kind of find that sweet spot, that niche spot in the middle of the extremes that, of course, we have to experience in order to find common ground. But overall, this is going to be a little bit more of a down-to-earth approach on some of the things that have been really weighing on our heart space, an attempt, an adjustment to actually alleviate it and free it, and in turn, really put us in a different mind space to be creating habits and routines that not only will help us take care of our emotional stance and our physical stance, but also promote where it is that we could really kind of do things in a better way, especially when it comes to expressing ourselves in a more logical, factual way, instead of allowing, you know, emotional outbursts to kind of be the only opportunity in which we are truly transparent with what it is that we're thinking and what it is that we're feeling. This is going to be a time where we're a little bit, I'm going to say, conservative with our approach on how light and fluffy we want to be, how emotional and affectionate we want to be. We're going to be conservative with our money, with our happiness, with our joy, with our pleasure. It's a time where we're, again, trying to find that balance point, trying to find that sweet spot. And although the want, need, and desire in this Virgo energy is to kind of assist and help others, the best thing that we can do right now is assist and help ourselves to find a new grounding point to operate from, to really get real with what it is that our heart is asking us to do and pursue, and to really take the opportunity when given those opportunities in the run of your day to make the smaller type of adjustments that are needed in our mind space, in our heart space, and of course, in our physical environment.